And visit the website onthegreenradio.com.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
All the caregivers around the world today. It's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. Because I got a bunch of all that stuff. And with me on the boards today is Bobby.
Whoa, that was
I'm tricking you. Hey, Bobby.
Hello, happy Saturday.
How are you today?
Just hanging out with Crisp Kringle in here.
Crisp, I brought him a little goodie bag.
Thank you
today.
for the goodie bag.
You're welcome. And with me, as always, is my best friend, my co-host, and my sidekick, not sidekick, Lynn Thornley.
Good afternoon.
You look very cute with those little Santas on your head.
Thank you. Back at you.
Yes.
Back at you, kiddo.
So I got to tell you, yesterday I was watching TV. There was a interview with Candace Bergen.
I
love her. And she said, the older you get, the more interesting you get.
It's just because she's getting old.
I like that. That's when one of my grandchildren say I'm old, I'm going to say, no, I'm really interesting. It's what I really am. So,
very.
And our newest listeners are Sarah from Sebring, Azalea from St. Pete, and Shirley from Lago.
Well, welcome. Lovely names.
So welcome. There's always plenty of room around the Connecting Caregivers table for more listeners, whether you listen to the show live or the podcast or YouTube or wherever the heck we are. This week I had an amazing opportunity to interview an author, Anne Scott, from the United Kingdom. And she wrote a book, Sizzling Bacon. She actually has dementia. And she wrote the book to explain to her children about dementia. Her 10-year-old daughter is really her basic caregiver and how they make it through.
How young is she?
She's young.
She has a 10-year-old daughter.
She has 5 kids, and the youngest one is 10.
Oh, Lordy.
So it is going to, I interviewed her as part of my new podcast, which will be starting in January, and it's Connecting Caregivers Presents Candid Conversations with whoever I feel like. It's nice to be boss. It's really nice to be able to do that.
It's nice to be boss.
So Anne will probably be up in the new podcast the beginning of January, but check out her book. It's Sizzling Bacon. And it's on Amazon. And I was reading the book, and they're talking about bacon and this and that, and they're talking about a bod. And I'm like, what is that? And she goes, kind of like a hamburger at McDonald's, she says, but with a sausage. So that must be like a regular breakfast thing there. It's like a little sausage sandwich or something. So I had to learn that. I had to learn a few other English words along the way.
Not a banger?
No.
Because they call sausages bangers in England.
Yeah. So whatever, you learn something new every day. So I will keep you all posted when the new podcast starts. And with me today, I have 2 fabulous friends, Michelle Lowack from Assisting Hands Home Care and Sheri Gruden from Suncoast PACE Hospice. And we're also going to talk about Hearts and Hope and a whole bunch of other really good stuff. So I'm really glad that you're here today. Especially glad that you're here today, Sheri, because the last time you were on the show, one of my caregivers ended up entering the PACE program after that, and she's still in it. And
that's wonderful. Yes.
Yeah. And it was just because she heard it on the show. So let's start out, introduce yourself and tell people what PACE is about.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
No problem.
PACE is a program that helps seniors stay at home. Our program is free to those that qualify, so there are no costs involved. And especially this year has been extremely poignant and difficult for all of us, but especially for those that are caregivers. So what our program does is it allows our program to come in and help give them some relief.
Yeah.
Which they all need. Everybody needs some separation from what they're doing daily. So our program provides homemaking service. It provides somebody to come in and help them shower if that's what's needed. We pay for durable medical equipment. We have our own pharmacy. And we have an adult day center, which is really gorgeous and amazing and lots of activities. However, COVID, because of that, we're closed. So what we did is our program really stepped up this year. And for those that can't come in because our day center is closed, we're sending home health aides out into the home that gives the family caregiver a break. We're bringing in sensory items. We're bringing snacks. There's a time when our caregiver can come in and do some games with them to help with mental stimulation and
just to see another face.
Yes. And to help, because even though we live together, sometimes that's isolating in itself.
Yeah.
We also have Zoom programs. So family members that are caring for their loved ones can log on to the Zoom, and we're having classes that are live. We're having bingo games, that kind of thing, again, for stimulation. So we've done a really amazing job. We've taken meals out to the home for breakfast and lunch, and then just kind of kept them from not being so isolated.
Yeah, the isolation is a killer for everybody.
It really is.
For the caregiver, for their loved one. And respite care is so important. I got a call yesterday that one of my caregivers had a stroke. Okay, so she takes care of her sister. And she says, and now the evil sister is going to be taking care of her. But, you know, I've been seeing her feeling. And she goes, oh, I know, Linda, I should have listened. I should have did this. I should have did that. I should have did this. Please, learn from someone else's poor judgment.
Yeah, reach out, ask for help. Our program is open. We don't have a waiting list right now. We are looking for people to help. And, you know, when you have someone in an assisted living, especially this year, those assisted livings close their doors. So that isolates them. Families can't go in. So what we're finding is some families are bringing their loved ones home.
Right.
And because they need that. And when they do, PACE can be there to help support them.
Okay, so that's a big deal
huge.
right there.
Very big.
You know, because people have been saying to me, okay, so I have the opportunity, because, you know, everybody has their different restrictions.
Sure.
And, okay, so I got to see Mom in a separate room, 12 feet apart. She goes, I can see Mom's declined. She said, I need to comb Mom's hair. I need to hug Mom.
To touch her, yes.
I need to do that. So, you know, if they can take them home, not that, you know, that may be an option for a while.
That may be an option.
Yeah.
And that's something that we can come in and help with. That's huge for our community, especially right now. So we send people in. We have all of their health care taken care of. They have 2 nurses and a social worker assigned to them, and that's their care team. So they see the same faces, which also helps with people that have Alzheimer's dementia, is to be consistent and not to change up. So our program, the PACE program, you can call in for help at 727-289-0062. Now, currently, with that number, our population is in Pinellas County, but I have some great news to share. Since the last time, we are moving into Hillsborough.
Excellent.
Next year, which is huge for us. So we will have a PACE program just like the one in Pinellas County over into Hillsborough, and we'll be able to help a lot more people.
Yeah, it's so important. There are so many different options out there, but people just don't know about it. And that's part of the reason we have the show, is so we can get this information out there and so we can share this stuff, because it's like I always say, your caregiving experience can be the most horrific experience of your life or close to beautiful, depending on how you handle it.
Yes.
There's no question about that.
Get some help.
Yeah.
Get help.
And and sometimes people think asking for help is weak. No, asking for help is power.
It's power.
Asking for help is strong.
That's right.
You know, and many times your loved one is watching you suffering, is watching you, and they don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. They definitely don't know about resources. And then your loved one is feeling sad too. So, everybody's just being sad. That's not good. And your loved one maybe be afraid to say to you, like, I need a break from you. I love you, but I need a break from you too.
Sure. So that's when we can step in and help. And it's really an amazing program. You can stay on our program for life if you choose. And we'll help you and your caregiver, because we're not going to take the place of your caregiver. We're going to come alongside them and help them. So the caregiver is helped, and so is our participant.
Yeah, we have a new team. It's just a new team.
That's correct.
It's just like, we discussed this morning on the caregiver support group. Some people have their loved one at home. Some are in assisted living. Some are in memory care. That doesn't stop your caregiving just because they're not living in the house with you.
That's right.
Especially during COVID. You need to go into those communities and see what's going on. You got to make sure that your loved one, always, it's part of it. The sad one is the people that just dump them there and don't come back.
Yeah.
But that is rare, because those people usually don't even move their loved one out of the house. So think about what your options are and see what your options are. And even if you just start out, which we're going to talk to Michelle in a little while about home health, getting somebody in for a couple of hours. I have a woman recently, she's brilliant. She went up and she posted or on some kind of chat board at St. Pete College that she was looking to hire someone to come play chess with her husband. So this young man, college student, now comes over 3 days a week, 3 hours each time. She pays him $8 an hour. Wow. He goes, I get paid $8 an hour to play chess. And her husband gets somebody different in the house.
Yes.
And has some challenge, and he looks so forward to him coming. And that gives her 9 hours a week to just sit in a chair if she wants.
Not everybody could do that. You have to know how to play chess.
Yeah. Well, she said she would have played with him if she knew, and now she says she's happy she didn't know.
Well, we could play checkers.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I remember that.
I don't know. My grandchildren tell me they make up all different games every time we're playing something. So I never know. This is the 2020 rules, the 2020 version or whatever. So tell us what other programs that you have over there at Empath.
We have hospice. Now, hospice is our sister. Our PACE program is part of a national program, so we're separate. They have the EPIC program, which helps people that are HIV positive. There are children's programs. There are mental health programs. We have a whole gamut of community service right underneath our umbrella at Empath.
Yeah, and it's good to know what all those services are. And I say this all the time, don't be afraid of hospice. We have 2 hospice here. We have Seasons and we have Empath. I love them both very close to my heart. It was Suncoast Hospice at the time, took care of my mom. Seasons just took care of Tom. We're very lucky to have what we have in our community.
We are.
And we all work together.
Right.
You go somewhere else, they're like, well, you're on the other team. Don't come near me. No, that's not what it's here. We're all here to work together. So think about this during the holidays, caregivers. Think about what changes you can make that will make it better for both you and your loved one. And if not, and it's really tough right now because it's the month of December and everything, but maybe make a little New Year's resolution for in January about making some changes. You'll be with, hopefully, maybe not in person, but over Zoom, you'll be having conversations with your family during the holidays. This is maybe the time to bring up a little bit of that conversation. I kind of like the Zoom thing because before you could call up and go, I'm just fine. And you'd look miserable and no one would know.
Yeah.
The bays to go on Zoom.
Now when you got that Zoom, they're kind of like, yeah, Michelle's good at that, blocking herself out. But it's good. It's a good thing about that too, also with support groups, because sometimes a person comes into a support group, it's kind of new to them. They don't feel so comfortable. So they could just block themselves out and just listen.
Right.
Until they're. Bobby, do we have a caller on the line?
Nope, that was just business general.
Okay. All right.
Monkey business?
Monkey business?
Lola business.
Oh, Lola business. Lola's the boss, so we listen to Lola business. So I want to play this favorite song of mine, which I neglected to do at the beginning of the show, that is written by my cousin Pete Camp, who's 20 years old, who wrote the song, sings the song, and plays all 5 instruments in the song. It came out last season, and so here we go. Thanks, Pete Camp.
girls, they start to cheer. Cause they know that Santa is coming to Tampa. That won't matter when you're around. And I know that there's more to Christmas than the lights and the snow. And I know that if you ever need me, you know that I will be sitting by the fireplace late at night, knowing that together it'll all be alright. And I'll be piling up the blankets on our favorite chair, counting down the seconds till you make it here. That just about sums it up for me. I just need you and the Christmas tree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know I don't need to worry, cause I know I've been good, but I'd still like some cold like the firewood. So Santa, please hurry, pack up your sleigh. Don't you forget to bring my baby my way. Cause I know that there's more to Christmas than the lights and the snow. And I know that if you ever need me, you know that I will be sitting.
So I love that song. You can get that song on Spotify, wherever you buy your local music. It's everywhere. You can listen to it on YouTube. Just promote this song.
And the name of it?
Is You and the Christmas Tree.
It's not you.
No, I always say You, Me, and the Christmas Tree, but
it's
it's You and the Christmas Tree.
Oh.
By Pete Camp. I got to add another person in there. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, I thought it was that. I thought you were correct.
No, you know, I typed it wrong too, as you see.
Oh, no, I didn't see.
That's
Oh, how about that? I just noticed that.
How about that? All right, now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Are you looking for compassionate and dependable home care for you or a loved one? Assisting Hands Home Care, serving Pinellas and Pasco counties, can help.
The day came that taking care of my mother was no longer the best thing for me or for her. Between kids and a job, I couldn't give her the attention she needed and deserved, and I was overwhelmed. So I reached out to Assisting Hands Home Care. Now I can see what an important decision that was, and I feel confident that my mother has compassionate and dependable caregivers who help her to stay happy, healthy, and home. Today, I'm able to visit with my mother and enjoy our time together, which is exactly what we both needed.
Assisting Hands Home Care. Call today for your free in-home consultation. In Pinellas, call 727-748-4211 or visit assistinghands.com. When you can't do it all, give Assisting Hands a call. Arden Courts is an assisted living facility designed to care for those that are struggling with dementia or Alzheimer's, where families and residents can feel the freedom with a nurse on site 24/7. Arden Courts provides specialized memory care in a safe and nurturing environment. They recognize every individual's physical, mental, and social needs and provide a secure environment that fosters independence for as long as possible. Walking paths, visual cues, and home-like amenities invoke a sense of freedom and independence. At Arden Courts, their goal is to make your loved one as comfortable, independent, and healthy as possible. They offer 10 hours a day of activities and programming, with a unique setting of a home-like environment and 4 theme houses. It warms my heart to see how happy the residents are. Please call or stop in to talk with a representative. Arden Courts of Seminole at 727-517-7800, Largo 727-559-8411, or Palm Harbor 727-771-1600. Give them a call.
Is the fear of falling keeping you from doing the things you love? Do you suffer from diabetic neuropathy or plantar fasciitis? VoxLife can help. Whether you're caring for someone you love or being cared for, VoxLife wearable neurotech helps your body reach its full potential. Proven to reduce symptoms of diabetic neuropathy and plantar fasciitis, VoxLife also reduces the risk of falling in adults over the age of 55 by 8 times. VoxLife is a safe, simple, drug-free solution that optimizes your neurology. The biggest breakthrough in wellness in 50 years. VoxLife offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can't afford not to try it. To learn more about VoxLife, go to www.voxxlife.com/caregivers. That's www.voxxlife.com/caregivers. They help my parents and they can help yours too.
Don't turn it off now. You need this stuff. Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network.
So, Bobby, did you say we have a caller on the line?
We do. Sandy.
Hey,
Hi,
Sandy.
Linda. Hey, Linda.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Joyful and grateful.
Good.
So what's happening?
No, I just called in because you were having Sheri from PACE, right?
Yeah, she's right here.
Yeah, I just wanted to say how great I think PACE is. It's really helped us a lot with my mother-in-law.
Thank
who
you.
has Alzheimer's, dementia, and your program has supported me and helping me keep her at home.
Oh, perfect.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's what
and I
we're here
also
for.
heard about I heard about this from Linda's show the last time, probably. I don't know if it was the very last time you were on, but last
One of the
February,
times.
January. It was early in the year.
Yes.
And we just had a short wait list and we got accepted. So it was
Well,
That's
please help
fantastic.
spread the word, and thanks so much. I'm glad they are able to help you, and I'm glad you were able to be on the support group this morning.
yeah, I'm glad I was too. I really needed to talk to somebody.
Yeah, you need a hug, baby.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you and Paige. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Have a delicious day, honey.
You too.
Isn't
Bye
that
bye.
nice?
Bye.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
I'll never forget it because she heard about it on the show, and then she came back to the support group and she's like, "Oh, my
And
life
it
has
doesn't cost
changed."
anything, right?
No,
It's free.
right. My
I
life
mean-
has changed, and it literally has changed.
I
so.
think people are afraid because they think it's going to cost them something. And, money, you're scared when someone's ill. But it costs nothing. And
No.
you get all this help, and it's wonderful.
And even the things that do cost,
I was
there
gonna
are
say.
many times when you look at it, you can
justify
you
it.
can justify it. It's if you're going to lose your health and everything else, and then you're not there to take care of your loved one. And what happens too is people say, and you got to see this all the time, Michelle. Come on, pipe in here. Get that microphone. Where the person now the person is really failing, and they can't talk to them anymore, and they wasted all that time being a nurse instead of being a daughter.
Making the bed making the bed or doing the fundamental stuff that we think as caregivers we're the only ones who can do.
Many times when your mother or father doesn't want you bathing them.
Yeah, and we as caregivers don't give that up in time. So don't be the one who's looking back later, wishing you had spent more time.
Having a nice conversation.
You did a really
Yeah.
good. Michelle's dad passed away recently, right around when my husband passed away. So
Our parallel lives continue.
we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
But you took advantage of that.
Oh, I did. Assisting Hands was with Daddy about 50 hours a week.
That much?
Yeah, because I was working.
Oh, that's right.
I was working out helping other families to uncover the needs that they had and working with Sheri and doing different things that that needed to be done. I couldn't retire at the, even though I look like I'm 100, I'm not.
Stop.
I got a few years left in me. So while I was working, they would take care of Daddy and give me the confidence to know he was safe.
Well,
and
and
not
not just
only
that,
safe, but he wasn't isolated.
He was social because your dad was a
Oh my
social
gosh,
man.
he was on the Zoom calls with us. He was,
No, he was on the
Pre-COVID.
call. You were hiding.
I was just going to say, people will be like, is your camera not working? My camera works just fine. You don't need to be seeing this. But when Daddy was there, the camera was on and he interacted and those were his friends. And everyone in this room made his life better. So thank you. Thank you
Oh,
for
you're
doing that
welcome.
because he was very lucky to not be isolated.
He made the gnomes with us with Arden Courts.
He did.
Yes.
He did, and gnomes were really important to our family. So, there's so much that goes back to that. But whether it's PACE, if they don't qualify for PACE, and I do refer people to you, and I tried to get Daddy on PACE, but if they don't qualify for PACE, and you're saying, well, you can justify it. We spend our whole life justifying everything, and there is nothing that gets me more heartbroken than when I do a consultation with the family and it starts out, mom's fallen a couple times and I don't think she's eating and she's not doing so well and we really need the help. And okay, And we get to the end and then, oh, I have to pay money for this. Oh, she'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she'll be fine.
I really love her, but she'll be fine.
Yeah. Because
I can't say what I want to say.
You cheap such and such.
Well, it's not even that. I want to be able to say how many families pre-COVID, again, this hasn't happened since COVID because we can't have funerals anymore in person.
Right.
But pre-COVID, I would go to every funeral with the families. And I can't tell you how many times I sat there and they said to me, why didn't you push harder? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you, you didn't explain that part. Well, I can't scare the crap out of you on a call.
Right.
I can't tell you what I know is going to happen. You knew what was going to happen. But
now
you
they're
justified,
blaming
you justified that, oh, I can't spend that money. How did it make you feel? The dad went back to the hospital. The dad did have to go to a nursing home because he sustained another fall.
Right. And how much does that cost?
Yeah. So,
and that's why people are out there, especially people out there that are financial advisors. You need to talk to your people. Mark Vernick. I love Mark.
Yep.
And Mark says he'll go to a person's house and they're like, oh, we're saving for a rainy day. He goes, it's storming.
Raining. It's thundering. It's lightning. And you cannot go back and get that back. And that's the grief and the isolation. You're talking about Mark and he's one of the best financial planners. Different elder attorneys and different guardians. I'm a guardian myself and on their board. And I did that because there was such a gambit and we were serving different people. And I'd always hear the 10-year plan. Okay, great. Well, pre-COVID, I think we needed a 10-year plan.
Right.
But if you have isolated somebody in a building, you've just put them on a very short plan. And if you keep them on a 10-year plan and they're isolated, that's because you're selfish and you're keeping the money for yourself. It's that simple. Nobody likes to hear it, but it is the truth because nobody can live in isolation for 10 years.
Well, and
that's what we do to criminals. We put criminals in isolation for a punishment for doing a heinous crime. And now we're doing it to our seniors.
You know what? And sometimes some of our seniors are doing it to themselves too, because they're the ones that got the purse string. So many times they're like, no, I'm saving it for Mary. I'm saving it for Mary.
Right.
Well, if you want to help Mary now, you need to help Mary now. Mary, not after your dad.
Because
if you love Mary so much and you've been saving your whole life to give some money to Mary, you need to help Mary right now.
Yeah. That the statistic that we always talk about every time we're together is, 60% of the time the caregiver dies before the person they're taking care of.
That's so scary.
Yeah. And it is true. And I know just from myself and from others that, what does taking care, I wouldn't give up an instant of taking care of daddy. So don't take this the wrong way.
But it takes a toll.
Yeah.
And a counselor
Good thing
I was
you're
talking
young.
to. Yeah.
No, really. No, because I looked after my husband.
Oh my God,
and
she was a mess.
If I hadn't have been, I was 20 years younger than him. So I lost 50 pounds.
I did not lose 50 pounds.
Well,
You either
one
gain
examiner-
or
I
you
gained.
lose. Exactly.
I was going to say, don't. This is not 50 pounds of loss.
I refused to gain because my husband was starting to really notice me and say stuff. Like not very nice because he wasn't well, but so I was going to keep fit.
Yeah.
To the point of, she didn't even know who she was after he passed away. You looked in the mirror like, who
Yeah,
who
I
was
did.
she?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I think that I look better now than I did then.
Yeah, you
Gorgeous.
know, much better.
But,
Well, it took you like 2 years to get back.
yeah, and I'm still health-wise not
Right.
100%.
Well, and that's what the counselor said to me. They're like, you haven't grieved and you haven't, it is a PTSD. And then everything else that goes with it. And even as I'm living it, even doing the talks with you and being a support group instructor, you know it.
Yeah.
You know it. And you can teach everybody else it. But please, I implore for anybody listening that's a caregiver, please accept the help because that is strength.
Yes.
Well, Linda
You
worked
will
for a company.
regret it when you are no
Yeah.
longer with them if you don't get the help.
Well, Linda worked for a company when I was going through it, and I got someone coming in at night, overnight, because He kept me up all night.
I know.
So it was
I slept on-
24/7, and you
Yep.
so I was better off. I could do everything in the daytime, but that nighttime was the best because he'd get up and talk to the person.
Well,
not
that's
me.
even like my poor sister-in-law right now. I just came back from New York.
Yeah.
My brother has Parkinson's. He's a mess. And so he said to me that night, I don't really sleep through the night. And I might come out and turn the TV on. I go, David, stay out here with me all night. Keep the TV on all night. I don't care. Let your wife have a night's sleep. Just hang with me. It's fine with me. No, he stayed out there till like 12:30, and then he went in the bedroom. And at 4:00 in the morning, I hear her saying, "Can't I just sleep one night?"
Well, and maybe she could, but I
No, you
get her
can't.
some help. I was going to say because it's been
You're in the
it's been
same
2
bed. My
months and I'm
husband.
still haven't slept through the night. I still jump to get up to go check on Daddy. He's not there anymore.
Right.
'Cause
Well,
I waited too long.
Yeah. And I just said to my sister-in-law, I said, either you need to get someone to come in during the day that keeps him awake so he's not sleeping during the day, or just have someone come in 4 nights a week. So, because she's working full time.
Even towards the end, though, it doesn't matter if they keep him up all day because you all know
Yeah, they're
you
gonna
saw
do
Daddy.
whatever.
Daddy was out. He took walks. We did have physical therapy and occupational therapy, and he was doing great. He went to the park every day, unless it rained. He was still up at night because towards the end of the disease,
It's just what it is.
What happens.
Yeah.
And we can do it all except we can't. And
Well,
that rear view mirror and
even when I was
seeing it,
taking care of Tom in the end, I had to give him medication like every 3 or 4 hours. I was so tired. I was just so, because you just finished giving them the medicine and then it's almost time to, what if I fall
Do it
asleep
again.
and then I won't give them the next medicine kind of thing. And I can remember sometimes I felt a little snappy,
Well, when
He
you
would say
lack of
something.
sleep, you will.
And that's all I would say is all the time is, I could do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. I
Oh
can
no,
do
how many
that.
times I call you and say I'm never doing another one of these friggin' puzzles. And now I would
Yeah, you wish you
I'd
had the
give my
puzzles.
right arm to do a friggin' puzzle with him.
Right.
And he could do puzzles, eh?
He could play cards really good
He
too.
played cards the week before he passed.
Unreal.
He corrected the score. He did. He corrected the score. He played dice and he won. We have it videotaped. That's the other thing. Tell your caregivers, please videotape your loved ones.
Yeah. Video them, record them.
How lucky now that you have all these options and how to do it.
And so many people in the community that still lift me up and that a day doesn't go by that somebody doesn't reach out and say, I miss your dad. Your daddy was great. He got to know you all and thank you for that. But we are a community and
He was so fun, though.
he was a fun man. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
And I get, he's on all our marketing materials now.
Oh,
Is he?
And that was planned before we,
Yeah.
So when I came back and did the event at Arden Courts and Becky brought it for the first time and we did the case
oh
manager.
dear.
Yeah, it was a good thing Daphne was there too. But yeah, so I knew it was there. I had seen it on the computer. We had worked it up before
But it's nice
everything.
to really,
But to
when you really
unveil
see
it and
it.
to see it and to see it in, when people say, well, that's a job and, come work for, I couldn't do anything else. This is what I was destined to do.
Right.
I know I've lived this and I know what seniors need.
because you don't, and I don't care until you're in it, you don't get it. You can be very sympathetic, very empathetic towards other people, but unless you're in it, you really don't get the full.
And listen to people who really have walked it because, I probably could sell ice to an Eskimo. I probably could. I've done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
We met, 22 years ago. I was the candle lady. She was the send out cards lady. They didn't even want me in the business group because I wasn't a real business person. Yeah, Catherine Larker, remember?
Yeah.
The founder. She didn't want me in the group. She's not
I
a
got
real
in trouble a
business
couple of
woman.
times in that group. I got in trouble for making faces. I said, sorry, this is my face.
But she didn't. And then
Whatever.
Mindy and Loretta said, oh, really? Because I don't know anyone else making a 6-figure income. She's a candle lady. She goes, she's a very rich candle lady. She's a very successful. So I probably could do anything else again. I
But
don't
this
ever
is
want
different.
to. This was what God wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't make a 6-figure income anymore. And I don't care about that because I get to change people's lives. I get to work with you.
Yeah.
We don't,
You sleep really
Not-
good at
it's-
night.
Well,
Well, not
No.
now, but you mean
No.
you have a clear conscience.
I can look in the mirror. Well,
and say I did a good
can't
job.
say that either.
Oh, stop.
I'm pretty happy with what I do, and it keeps me busy in between, Hearts and Hope.
Oh yeah,
And
so Hearts and
Seasons
Hope. Let's
Hospice.
talk about Hearts
We
and
got to get
Hope.
on Hearts and Hope. Something fun. Get it.
Come on,
my
girls.
friend.
Okay, so we've had our second Hearts and Hope.
Explain what Hearts and Hope is.
This is an event that's put on by Better Living for Seniors, and we're a group of professionals, all of us in this room. We work together to volunteer our time to help seniors in our community, our frail, low-income seniors that really need help. They're kind of silent. They're a silent group. We don't, we don't hear a lot about them needing food. We don't hear about them needing basic necessities. So what I'm the chairman of the fundraising committee for Better Living for Seniors. And so I'm tasked with coming up with fundraising events so that we can take all of that money and we put it right back into our community. 2 years ago, we had a banquet style event that had entertainment, national, international. You were there, Michelle. So
have that guitar.
it was a great time of food, drink, in a beautiful setting. So this year we were planning a reboot, except for COVID came, and I didn't even think we were going to be able to hold a fundraiser this year. I couldn't see it.
I'm some brilliant Becky Moultrie.
Becky Moultrie. We were on a Zoom call, and I said, I just don't see that we're going to be able to do a Hearts and Hope this year because we can't get together. And she said, oh, yes, you can. So she called me afterwards and really poked me into doing this. And she said, we can do this, do a virtual. And I'm like, I don't even know how to do a virtual. The good news was that we had a group of individuals on our committee that we all worked together very hard to create something. And this year we were able to do it. You can look Hearts and Hope virtual event on YouTube. It is still up. And it was an hour worth of entertainment.
I love that.
Our host was John Wilson from Channel 13 News. He did a fabulous job. And in the middle of that, we put in videos that were submitted to us by our community. And Michelle and Daddy were part of that. He had a robotic dog, and that kept him company. So we showed clips of how we were all coping and helping each other during this pandemic. And we put those to inspire others to.
And it did.
Good. You were dancing. You were texting.
I was
me
dancing
during
in my
the
bedroom.
event.
I liked
She's
it.
like, I was dancing. I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
So that was thrilling. And for that event, we raised $16,000 for our one night event that was virtual.
1 hour.
Yeah.
1 hour.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Becky
Virtual.
Moultrie.
Yeah.
So Becky knows that she's responsible for poking me with a hot stick to get this going, and we were able to do that. So what do we do with the money? The money we raised from the year before is currently helping to feed our community.
Yep.
We're talking basic necessities. So as a committee with BLS, we got together and decided that we were going to take all of that money we raised 2 years ago and give it to the Area Agency on Aging, which is like the mothership here.
Yeah.
And for them to do with it for the necessities for our seniors. So what they did with our money that we had raised 2 years ago is they began feeding our seniors. They hired restaurants because the restaurants were closing.
Right.
They hired
Yeah, it
wait
was
staff. They hired delivery people. And so they were making meals, bagging them, and then delivering them to our seniors that couldn't go out because
Wow.
of this pandemic. And as far as I know, we've probably fed, not just with our money, but with other monies from the area agency. I think that they've fed over 1 million meals
Wow.
just this
Yeah,
year.
and not just leftover meals, not just
No,
nice
a
restaurants
can
and-
of tuna. Because that's the other thing is that we do. Sometimes when we do outreach, they'll say, what do they need? And people will go and buy like a generic mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Or
Peanut butter.
2 soup
well,
for a
and
dollar.
peanut butter is really good, but they'll buy like it's
Cheap stuff.
it's generous to give, but it's really, really nice that we don't treat the seniors in this program like throwaway people. That they really do get something delightful and delicious that was made with love that actually helped keep somebody else in business.
Yeah.
Instead of just the bottom of the barrel and here you go and be grateful for getting
And
this.
you know what? To some of those people, just somebody knocking at their door makes a difference.
A face.
Yeah.
That's
Again,
years ago,
yes.
when I lived in New York, I used to
Isolation,
feed a
it's
man
home
one night a
seniors.
week through some church program. He didn't even care about the food. He just wanted me to come.
It's that physical
Was he
human
just
contact.
someone to talk to, and he'd be like, "Can you stay longer? Can you stay longer?" all the time. And but yeah.
So-
we take so much for granted.
Yes, we do. And that's what the money was used 2 years ago. Now, with the money that we raised in October of this year, we are working on a plan to help get that back out into the community too, probably through the area agency on the aging. So we might even continue feeding people,
Yeah, who knows?
continue providing necessities. The money that is raised, I do everything on the cheap as best that we can. So I'm a good steward with that money,
Right.
so that the majority of it goes right back into our community.
Yeah.
So
And there are people that need so many different things in the community. My daughter's been going to some seniors' houses to cut their hair because they're afraid
Yes.
to come out.
She came
And
to
oh, that's right.
Yes.
She did Daddy.
She
That's
came
right. I
into
forgot
Daddy
that.
because I wouldn't take
And
her to the salon.
she went to this guy's house recently, and he has holes in his floor with just plywood laying on top of it. She's like, "Mama, he's gonna fall through that floor." I said, "Honey, we can take care of that."
Yeah.
They're
Joel Quattlebaum.
good old Joel.
Yes.
Really. In fact, Joel's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. He said he's got some good news about some other good things that are going on in our community for
That's
seniors,
awesome.
which is really
That's the day
wonderful.
after
We're
Christmas.
so lucky to have him.
Day after
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, the day after Christmas. And I just want to let you know any other police departments that might be listening out there. So Joel Quattlebaum is the senior services officer with the Largo Police Department, just for senior services. And then we had a conversation one day, and I was like, "How come everybody else doesn't have a senior services officer?"
Smart enough to fund it.
He said to me, it's paid by a grant. He said anybody could do it if they apply. So anybody else that's in the industry or in the police department out there that's listening to this, why don't you check that out?
You have to
Because
get
how
out there somehow.
how fabulous would it be if every police department had a senior services office? It's so needed. I mean, we have a senior every square inch. They say there's more seniors in Pinellas County than anywhere else in the United States if you go according to
per capita or per square foot.
And if you go back on to Hearts and Hope, do a search for the Hearts and Hope virtual benefit fundraiser on YouTube, you'll see Joel Quattlebaum. He takes you through a lady's house who also had holes in her floors and was concerned that she was going to fall through them. So there are monies that our program raises that goes to the Largo Police Department for them for emergency services, or a senior might find herself homeless for whatever reasons.
Right.
And Joel will go and get her into a hotel
until we can find
a motel and get her some meals and a hot shower until we can find some other way to
housing
help
for her. Yeah.
Yes.
So important. But right now we need to hear from our wonderful sponsors because you know the deal. If we don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week. And did you know they got the Reader's Choice Award for 2019 for the best chiropractic in Pinellas County? So check them out. Arden Courts is an assisted living facility designed to care for those that are struggling with dementia or Alzheimer's, where families and residents can feel the freedom with a nurse on site 24/7. Arden Courts provides specialized memory care in a safe and nurturing environment. They recognize every individual's physical, mental, and social needs and provide a secure environment that fosters independence for as long as possible. Walking paths, visual cues, and home-like amenities invoke a sense of freedom and independence. At Arden Courts, their goal is to make your loved one as comfortable, independent, and healthy as possible. They offer 10 hours a day of activities and programming, with a unique setting of a home-like environment and 4 theme houses. It warms my heart to see how happy the residents are. Please call or stop in to talk with a representative. Arden Courts of Seminole at 727-517-7800, Largo 727-559-8411, or Palm Harbor 727-771-1600. Give them a call.
Guaranteed to make you laugh through your tears, Linda Burhan's book, Good Night and God Bless, is filled with humor and heartfelt inspiration to aid anyone facing the challenge of caring for a loved one at the end of life. Her story offers hope for human strength and understanding of weaknesses during a difficult time. Life doesn't normally prepare us to become a loved one's caregiver. When it happens, it's usually sudden. A diagnosis of an illness, age-related frailty, dementia, and life suddenly is anything but normal. And because we don't even know what we don't know, where do we turn to for help or guidance? In Connecting Caregivers, Answers to the Questions You Didn't Know You Needed to Ask, Linda offers information, education, and inspiration from her own experience and from experts whose advice, practical tools, and personal stories will empower and guide you. Make sure to add these inspiring books to your collection today. Available on Amazon.com.
Don't turn it off now. You need this stuff. Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're off. You know what that means? Get your pen and paper because Lynn's got good stuff to tell you.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
It's all about my friend Lenny.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nobody else is working except me. You see.
Lenny is doing 3 Zooms. Gratitude and journaling. Reduce caregiver stress. It's 3 parts, and it's on Monday, January 11th, 18th, and 25th at 11 a.m. You have to go to Linda's website to get the link.
Yeah, for any of them that you're interested in, just email me through the website, and I will send you the link.
And then she's also doing the dementia dance, when to lead and when to follow. That's Tuesday, January 19th at 11 a.m. Oh, you like 11 a.m.
She's gonna sleep.
And then You, Me, and Dementia, Alzheimer's Speaks Out. And that's with Brian and Maureen, who were on the show last week. And that's on Wednesday, January 20th at 11 a.m.
And that's going to be fabulous, You, Me, and Dementia, because Brian has Alzheimer's. And I think it's so important that we hear from the people, just like the author that I spoke about earlier today. Because just because you have dementia or Alzheimer's doesn't mean you're incapable of living a life.
Right.
It depends on how we handle it and what we do with it. Of course, we know that it's not going to get better, but there are many things that can be done. So I just spoke to someone recently, James Hamilton. He's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. He also has dementia. And they were working on a project, him and a bunch of people. And he said, oh, I'm good at the computer. I'm techie. I can do all that stuff. And someone said, you could do that? Like, he said, I'm not dead. You know,
I can't do that, and I'm not dead either.
Yeah. But, you know, I find it breaks my heart thinking that people are sitting in a chair because everybody stopped talking to them. Because everybody stopped thinking they can do anything.
They're disposable.
You know,
once they're diagnosed.
And another conversation that I had with them the other day that just really broke my heart because I never thought of it this way is when I think of somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia, I think of them living at home or living in a community. there are people that are living all by themselves.
Isolated in.
All by themselves.
Well, Brian
Now,
lived alone.
can you imagine
Until
having
Brian
hallucinations?
scooped him up.
I know
so,
it.
Oh, she scooped him
So
up.
we're talking
beat us.
about a lot of things about trying to make some changes. We want to hook up with some kind of over 55 community and try to educate some people and actually have like a little dementia task force there. So if someone is waking up that lives alone or is scared or whatever, they can call someone and in their neighborhood that will come and just make sure they're okay. I could cry right now just thinking about it. So please, you may have neighbors that are in that position.
You do have neighbors.
Yeah, you do have
You
neighbors
do
in that.
have
Especially me, I have neighbors like that.
Yeah,
We
well,
all do.
yeah.
We all do.
So look out for those neighbors. Make sure they're okay. You know, you can call any of us. We have plenty of resources for whatever those kind of people need. Whew. I feel like I've been on a soapbox. But
What we could say too is if you go to the Publix on 113th, you'll see Lenny ringing the bell for Salvation Army.
yes, I will
at
be
3
ringing the
o'clock.
bell this afternoon at 3 o'clock on Publix on
What will you be
113th.
doing between now and 3?
And well, I'll have a little conversation before that. But yeah, you'll see me there.
So we're calling it
My
the
Kiwanis
conversation.
group does that in conjunction with the Salvation Army. So we just took the
Is that
flags
at Park
down.
Boulevard? Around Park Boulevard?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my 113th.
No, it's not.
Hey, Linda, can I do a shout out for Silver Santas?
Sure.
Thank you to all who participated in Silver Santas this year. We got donations from all over the community, and ABC News picked up the story and ran with it. Habitat is going to be putting it in, and thank you for so much, because I know everybody at this table came and helped, and it's just another outreach. For those of you who didn't get a chance to do a donation, you can go on the Better Living for Seniors website. There's a little Silver Santas link and you can click it and you can give us a donation for next year, because the need is not going to go away. It's my hope that with COVID, if it continues, that maybe we do a, biannual Silver Santas. We get it in our heads that, we're these do-gooders that help at Christmas, and isn't that good? And then the rest of the year, where's the help?
Yeah.
So Hearts and Hope, thank you so much for stepping up and being that chair, Sheri. The leadership we need. And Linda and Lynn, you guys are just the best. So
It's just
thank
like
you
a
for
mutual
including
admiration
me.
society
Well,
in
no,
here.
Thank you for including me in your world, and thank you for lifting me up when I can't do it myself.
And thank you to our wonderful listeners. Tune in again next week for another fabulous show. If you need any information, I can help you with anything. Connect with me through my website, lindaburhans.com. Remember, God loves you all the time, and have a delicious day.
Running, oh yeah, baby, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is